Hey guys, this is Christian here. Today we'll be talking about a topic that's really important for beginners. If you're in that 0 to 5K per month range as an entrepreneur, you just started making money online for the very first time, or you're just making a couple $1,000s per month, you're going to find this really valuable because this is one of those things that entrepreneurs in the beginning phases struggle with the most. And you're always going to struggle with this at all stages of your career, but especially as a beginner, you're going to struggle with this the most because once you're first starting out, you don't have any employees, you don't have a team, you maybe don't even have any clients, or you don't really have like a large following or an audience that depends on you. So whenever you want to like sit down and do work, it's kind of like basically like you're on your own, right? You have to keep yourself accountable. You have to be the one to self motivate yourself. And let's say, for example, you miss a day, or you miss 2 days, or you miss an entire week or an entire month, or you just give up completely. No one will notice because at this point you don't have, followers, you don't have employees, you don't have a team, you have nobody like actually like watching whether you actually, perform, the tasks that you have to perform, whether you send those outreach messages or whether you post the content you have to post or you edit the videos you have to edit, whatever your job is and what your business model is, you're going to be the only one that really sees the progress you're making and like really sees if you actually work or you don't work, right? Because in these early stages, you're not making any money at all, or if you are making money, you're making a little bit of money. So you just don't have like that, pressure to like really run the business and to continue, right? If you stop showing up, you might lose your client, your page, might die, your followers might like stop engaging with your content, but it's not going to be as severe, right? You're not going to feel the pressure of, employees relying on you, your client, like 10 clients or 20 clients, messaging you, hey, where's the project work? I need it done. You're not going to have that pressure in the beginning, right? And this is both good and bad. The good thing is that you have lower stress because you're not running a huge operation, a huge business. But the problem with this is that you're not making money. And this also means that it's going to be harder for you to like stick with it, right? Because you just haven't built the momentum. You haven't built the habit and you don't have pressure, right? So whenever you want to like, be lazy or, do something else more fun, you're going to have an easier time to go out there and, go out on a Friday night or do this really fun thing with your friends on the weekend instead of sitting down and doing the work. So you're going to have that resistance and you're not going to have, the habits ingrained as strong as like, as someone that has been doing it for multiple years, or is already a millionaire, or is already seeing the success they want. As a beginner, these habits are not that strong inside of you. And also the power and the ability to stay accountable is also not developed yet. And you don't have pressure. So you're going to have a harder time, sticking with it. So my advice to you guys, if you're in this stage, is whenever you fall off track, which is going to happen a lot as an entrepreneur in the beginning, right? You're going to always fall off track eventually, right? It might take a week, a month, or 2 months or 3 months. You're going to have one of those like bad days. And the best advice I can give you whenever you have a bad day, or you have a day where you did zero work and you fell off, whether it's, with your business, diet or fitness, whatever it is that you're doing, right? Let's say you're going to train 5 days a week and you end up doing 2 sessions or 3 sessions. You basically like failed at your 5 day a week workout session, goal. And what you want to do is after you have a bad week where you only went to the gym 2 times, maybe even 1 time, right? The next week when the week resets, go back to doing 5, right? Try to get back to 5 as fast as possible, because whenever you let something slip away, you miss 1 week, you miss a second week, you miss a third week, that's when you start to lose momentum. That's when you start to lose the habit. That's when you start to like fall back into your old habits. So whenever you miss something, whether it's, your business task or your gym or whatever goal that you have, always get back on track, right? For example, let's say your goal is to send 50 outreach messages a day. First of all, if your goal is to send 50 messages per day on Instagram or Twitter, LinkedIn, email, whatever platform you're sending emails on, your goal might be 50 per day. That's probably like the number that your mentor told you to do or what the course told you to do. But you have to realize that 50 messages a day, it's going to be hard, right? Especially at the beginning, because when you first started out business, you saw the course, you saw the video on YouTube that told you to go ahead and send 50 messages. But before that, before you were an entrepreneur, before you had the idea of doing business, your whole entire life, whether it's, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, however old you are, like previously in your life, you're accustomed to sending 0 messages per day. And now you're expected to send 50 messages every single day, right? It's going to be hard. You're going to struggle and you're not going to be able to hit this goal every single day, especially not in the beginning, right? So that's where you have to realize that these goals that you make for yourself, 1 video a day or a couple of videos per week or 50 hours messages or, do this client work or edit these videos or do whatever you have to do. those tasks are going to be hard because you're just getting started, right? Your entire life, that you were a child, that you were a teenager, you've never done these things, right? So now you're installing a new habit and you're putting a bar and a goal that you have to reach, and you're not accustomed to reaching it. So don't be surprised when you try to send 50 hours messages and on day one, you only manage to send 5, or you only manage to send 2, or maybe you get lucky and you can send 10. Don't be surprised when getting that goal of 50 messages per day is really hard. And you have to realize because you're just not used to it, right? And what you're gonna have to do, whether it's, sending out messages, posting videos, editing videos, whatever business task you have to do, whatever your job is or whatever your business is, you have to realize that these tasks, these things that you have to do, these like things that you have to do in order to make money, they're not going to be easy to do because you're just not used to it. And you have to acknowledge that and accept that. And what you have to do instead is just aim for what you can do, right? Let's say you want to send those 50 hours messages, start with 5. Once 5 becomes easy, start doing 10, then do 20, then do 30, 40, 50, until 50 becomes really easy. Then you can go higher. You can try to do 70, or you can do 80 or 100 messages per day, right? So that's how you have to always, start out whatever business model you're doing, right? You have to start somewhere, right? Because if you stay at 0, if you continue to think about it, if you keep like missing days, right? And, getting discouraged when you can't hit the target, then that's when you'll like fall back and, end up not seeing the success you want. So my advice to you is whenever you fall off, get back on track. And number 2, start with like realistic goals. Start with goals that you can keep and maintain consistently, right? Once this goal and this target becomes easy, then you increase it. Then you start to do more work. And that's when you have like, some money coming in. Maybe you start to make some money. Now you could do more work. Now you have more motivation to continue to do more work, right? Because you've gotten the reward for your past work. So now it's a lot easier to continue to do more work and to see it in your mind as like, hey, I made money. I believe this is going to work. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing more work. I'm going to do more volume. I'm going to post more videos. I'm going to send more messages. I'm going to do more work, get more clients, edit more videos, post more content, build up my brand, grow my following, whatever it is that you have to do. You'll get that motivation once the money starts to roll in, right? But in the beginning, when you have $0 and you're basically working for free, you're sending messages, you're posting videos, you're doing all this work and you're not making any money, just acknowledge that's part of the game, right? And just try to do more. Try to do a little bit, then do more and more and more. And over time, you're going to see that it gets easier, right? And by the time it becomes easy, right, that's when you start to get the wins. Just when you start to make money. That's when you start to assign clients, get payments, get, payouts, make revenue. When that hits, then you'll get a double spike of motivation because now the habit is becoming easier. And now you're getting the dopamine from the wins. You're getting the rewards from your work. You're getting, momentum, right? So eventually you'll hit that point where you start to make money. You start to like have good moments and good times. But in the beginning, just focus on doing more, focus on getting better, focus on, gaining more momentum, building a habit better, be able to put more outwork or more output, right? Try to focus on that, right? So that's my advice to you guys. Whenever you guys have these like goals of, posting this many videos per day or send this many outreach messages per day or doing this work that you have to do, set a realistic goal. And then over time, just increase it until you reach a good target and keep going from there, increasing it more. And whenever you fall off, right? Let's say you got used to sending 20 messages a day, 30 messages a day. You're still not at that 50 message, target that you want to hit, but you're at 20 or 30. That's decent, right? And whenever you fall off and you go back to 0, let's say you spend 1 or 2 days where you celebrated your birthday, or maybe you went out with, friends, you had a vacation, you had something that stopped you from like doing the work you had to do. Don't like make excuses. Don't say, okay, I missed one day. might as well miss the whole week, or I might as well take the entire month off because it's summer, it's, Christmas, it's, family time, whatever it is that you have to, don't make the excuse and just miss the whole week or miss the whole month. Miss the day or the 2 days that you missed and get back on track as soon as possible. Because once you go from here to back on track, that's when you regain the momentum. And even if you lose a little bit of momentum, right, you'll be able to build it back up if you get back on track as fast as possible, right? When you're off track for a long time, that's when it's going to be hard to, build up the momentum. It's kind of like the gym, right? If you stop going to the gym for an entire year, when you get back to the gym, you're going to be all sore. You lost all your gains. You lost all your strength. And it's just going to be a, bad situation to get back into the gym after being inactive for an entire year. So when you miss one day, when you miss one workout, two workouts, three workouts, and you get back on there, easy, right? But once you miss an entire year, you're going to be screwed. You're going to have, trouble getting back on track. So same with business. Don't miss an entire week. Don't miss an entire month. Don't give up. Lose one day, accept it. Don't beat yourself up. Get back on track and keep going. That's my advice to you guys. Get back on track, incrementally increase, the targets that you have. And over time, it's going to become easier. It's going to build momentum and you'll be able to do the work whenever you want to do the work. Especially once you're making money and you're getting results and people are like, watching you level up, your clients are happy, you're getting, consistent revenue. People are seeing you make money and you're leveling up and you're building up your ego or like your self-image is getting higher. It's going to be even easier than then. So that's my advice for you guys. I hope this video was valuable to you. And if you like the video, go ahead and, press like in the video because it's going to recommend it to more people. It's going to show it to more people and more people will be able to see these videos and, talk about these or hear me talk about these like ideas and these concepts and they'll be able to learn and benefit from these videos. So go ahead and like it so more people can see it because more visibility for the channel. I get more subscribers, I get more views and more people benefit from the content. So make sure you go like it. And another thing as well, make sure you also subscribe and turn on the notifications because I'm posting videos every single Monday and Friday, and I've been doing this for like several months now. So if you subscribe and you turn on notifications, you'll be notified every single time that I post one of these videos, and you'll be one of the first to watch, this new advice or this new lesson that I'm talking about. So go ahead and, like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video.